if we were starting to look at some ideas around investing, then Dom, would you have anything sort of in mind, and sort of give us a an overview of why that area, and then sort of why that property from a Wealthi perspective? Yeah.
Yeah. So for all of our clients that work with us, they know that we primarily work across the Australian Eastern Seaboard, and we take a lot of time, diligence, and care to list what we believe are the best properties in Australia for investment purposes. And we try to buy or get our hands on a cross section of investments that range from apartments, townhouses, houses, and even some sort of industrial or more sophisticated commercial real estate. Now, some of the stuff you can find it on market, some of it we have it exclusively. Now, I think that this deal here, I think is pretty exciting. It's a Joiner estate. There are 6 townhouses that are currently available in that market. They are about $540,000 to $600,000. They are a dual contract or a split contract where you've got to buy the land and the build. You have to build the house on top of the land. And the reason why I like it is Joiner is an excellent little market where it's about 20 kilometers north of Brisbane. The north of Brisbane is an attractive market to me because it feels like there's a lot less supply up there. And the rental returns are extraordinary. We've had some agents come back to us and confidently come back and say they will actually sign a 5-year rental guarantee at $500 per week. That's not from the developer where they've baked it into the build. It's coming from an agent and a third party that will say, we'll definitely get you some tenants in that property. So I think that they're well priced, very strong yields. It's in an established market, not a lot of supply, and it's a really good quality product. So that's Joiner in Brisbane.
So I mean, look, just on that one then. So that's a new dwelling, yeah. So how long would it sort of take typically to construct from purchase?
So these ones, the completion time frame are going to be about the end of 2022. Yep. They will be starting construction in March. Great. And some of our clients have really liked the fact that in this deal, the developer has allowed for us to exchange on the land with $10,000 and then 5% on the build. So that's about $15K. So you can reserve the block, have it under your control for $25,000. And you have a little bit of time, so you've got until March to save the remainder of your deposit, get your financial affairs in place, and then basically you've got about a 9-month build time frame. So effectively by the end of next year.
Perfect. And the big thing for me is like cash flow on these types of dwellings. Once it's constructed and you've got it leased out, you've got you've got the large allowances for depreciation, which manages the cash flow so much better for you as well, which is a real plus for a new property. Well, I mean, I like that, and I'll be Googling Joiner on the map a little bit later. Do you have anything in a different sort of suburb and not sort of the Brisbane area?
Yes, absolutely. So I really like the Melbourne market. So we've got more than 2. We've got a number of different property opportunities in Melbourne that range from split contracts or dual contract townhouses and houses, which range from about 470 odd thousand up to about $600,000. Okay. And they are in areas. Let me just pull this up.
Just before you jump into the property itself, just tell me why you like Melbourne, because hasn't it had a pretty big growth this last sort of 12, 18 months or not?
Well, it's been one of the most depressed markets out of all of Australia. It's moved the slowest, nearly the slowest moving market. And that is because a lot of those migration numbers that we saw, people have been leaving Melbourne, going to the other states. It hasn't received any international migration. So it's the demand side has been lackluster. But then also the Melbourne market has been severely depressed because they've gone in and out of lockdown. It's been physically impossible to inspect. It's been traumatic to a lot of people. We are across all of Melbourne. We've got stuff in Werribee. We've got things like Essendon, and as well as places like Berwick, or Berwick, as the Melburnians like to say. So we've got a very good exposure across all of the Melbourne market.
Melbourne intrigues me. I mean, it's a big city and it's one of the biggest, obviously, in Australia. So it's interesting to hear that, it's probably underperformed in the last 12 months due to the impacts. And the properties that you've got there, anything in particular you'd pick?
Choices. I really like the Mamburan, or actually the Jubilee Wyndham Vale estate. I really like it inside there. And we've got some great relationships with builders and the developer in that estate. Houses less than 600,000 is a really good option. I like the Berwick option. These are great because they're a single contract. And, Chris, you know this better than most. Sometimes a house on land build can be a lot of moving parts for a purchaser. So having a single contract, 3-bedroom townhouse for 610,000 in a well-established sort of infill area is very attractive. It's a boutique estate where there's only about 100 or so townies, and you've got a beautiful little civic centre. I'd also say that these Mill Park townhouses, we've got a great relationship with the developer there. They're 3-story townhouses, 3 bedrooms, double car garage, 680K, but you've got a good piece of land content. They're architecturally designed and they're just absolutely beautiful. I'll just show you that. They're just stunning. Like for us to buy something like this in Sydney, you're spending probably close to $1 million.
Yeah, they're really nice, aren't they? Oh, they're fantastic. I really like them. They're lovely.
Yeah, they're really, really nice. So I'll stop screen sharing and all.
Yeah, I mean, just to wrap up, I mean, look, people can do the research and they can go onto your website. But I really think that the most important thing is, first and foremost, is get in touch and speak to one of you guys in your team or yourself. So how does someone get in touch with Dom Nesci then?
Well, I mean, you can pass on my details to your team, and I'm very happy to have a chat to any of your team. We've got a number of investment specialists, so we'll instantly get on top of any of your leads. For clients that are watching this out there, just Google Wealthi, Wealthi. That's wealthi.com.au. We're on YouTube. You can Google us. We're on Instagram. We're on all the different social platforms. Flick us to text, email, call, whatever. We're happy to have a chat.
Beautiful. All right, Dom. Well, look, really appreciate the insights today. I really value your thoughts and insights to the nation of property, but also those little macro and micro sections of Melbourne and Brisbane as well. But yeah, look, PM me if you want to have a catch up with Dom. Have a great day.
I like it. Take a bite out of Boothy. Is that the segment? Thanks, mate. I appreciate jumping on the show.
See ya.